You guys ever experienced a fearful dog, a dog that is scared out of the blue over nothing? Let me know in the comments, guys, if you have a fearful dog or if your dog's ever experienced fear stages and what you did to overcome those fear stages and what they were fearful of. Well, Joey Justice had his first fear period. I've mentioned numerous times on this channel that it's odd that Justice never went through a fear stage. Justice is 26 months old. By this age, 6 months prior, Bruce went through 2 fear periods already. Justice is a much slower developer, not only physically, but also mentally. Nothing did anything to trigger this fear. They weren't scared, they weren't injured, nothing like that. Rewind to when Bruce was a puppy or an adolescent. He already had 2 fear stages probably 6 months prior to Justice's age. Why are you licking my nose, bro? Yeah. One fear was fear of cars. We'd walk Bruce down the road and no fear whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he was showing signs of fear when cars would go by. Now they're going by at 55 miles an hour, and it produces a different pitch and a different sound versus when we're walking Bruce downtown and it's only 30 miles an hour. Another fear that Bruce had was fear of motorcycles. Crotch rockets, Harleys, he was scared of them all. The loud engine, the high-pitched rev of a crotch rocket, and the deep rumble of a Harley Davidson, for example. And now we have Joey Justice's first fear. And I like to describe fear stages as something that a dog wasn't fearful of at one time, and all of a sudden they're scared of said object, said item, and it's usually very irrational. And it comes out of the blue. We traveled this weekend to an Airbnb and it has hardwood floors, just like our house. Justice was scared to death of walking on this floor. He would find a carpet and just stand there. You would call him and he wouldn't recall. Like, he would not move off of this carpet. And as you guys realize, that is a very irrational fear. Nothing happened to him. It was the moment we walked in the Airbnb, nothing scared him to kind of trigger that fear. He didn't slip, he didn't fall, he wasn't injured. None of the above. It was simply a fear stage. And Cane Corsos typically go through minimum 1 fear stage, a lot of times 2, sometimes even 3. And usually they happen way before they turn 2. Justice is 26 months old now, so this is a very delayed fear stage. When a dog has fear over something, you kind of have to read the room almost and tackle it in certain ways. So for example, Bruce being scared of motorcycles. I wasn't going to throw him right in front of a motorcycle while somebody's revving it up. It's too loud, it's too obnoxious. That will instill that fear even more in him. What I did with Bruce is I just let him observe motorcycles from a distance. A motorcycle would go by when we were playing in the backyard and he'd run to the house because he wanted to come in. And I would literally not even look at him. I would just go about my business as nothing was happening. That way, he would understand that there's nothing to be fearful over. If I was to sit there and coddle Bruce and be like, good boy, it's okay, buddy, don't be scared. Now he's pairing this love and this praise with that fear. In his mind, that would go to, oh, I'm supposed to be scared right now because I'm getting attention, I'm getting love. So my best advice is just ignore any type of fear like this and just go about your business. Don't coddle the dog. Try not to even touch the dog if possible. Now with Justice's irrational fear stage, I handled this a little bit different because there was no sounds and we literally had to move around the house, right? There's no way about it. I can't just keep him on the carpet for 2 days straight. He had to at least work through this. So by the end, he did very, very well. I'm not saying he was 100% over it, but he did very, very well. All I did was, is there a slip lead over there? Can you grab me the slip lead? So I took his Fenrir slip lead, and you can get 10% off these slip leads. Use code Jason, use the link in the description box. Highly appreciate it when you guys use my links. So we have slip leads for the dogs. I have them with me all the time. They're really easy just to throw on and walk your dog in a pinch. I have some in the car. I have some in the garage. Always have some on hand. And they're easy just to put in your pocket. You don't need very big pockets to put this in there. So all I did was put the slip lead on Justice and told him to heel and just walked around and did my business. I didn't praise him, I didn't coddle him, I didn't talk to him, I didn't even touch him. He was literally on the end of the slip lead the whole entire time. I would just walk back and forth. At first he was lagging behind a little bit, but I didn't really have to tug hard to get him to follow. Just a little bit of leash pressure and he started to follow me. but it was very atypical of Justice. When Justice walks, he likes to be a little bit in front of me, and he was behind me the whole time because he was scared. I didn't pet him, I didn't coddle him, I didn't praise him, I didn't scold him. I just simply just walked around the house with the leash tight in my hand. I would make food, I would just do laps on the hardwood floors just to get him adjusted to it. And with every type of fear, you're gonna wanna handle it differently. Felt like this was the best, quickest way to attack this situation because it was such an irrational fear, and because also he had to walk across the floor. So I just want to share this with you guys to let you guys know there's no timelines on your dogs, how they grow, their maturity level, how quick they become trained, or even fear stages. Yes, you can go with averages. The average Cane Corso is done growing at 3, Bruce is 3.5. The average Cane Corso goes through their fear stages before they're 2. He's over 2 and just going through his first one. Just always remember there's no definite timeline. Every dog's different within the breed. I do get a lot of DMs from people telling me that their dog just is suddenly fearful of something. So it's always best to work through it quickly and as best you can, because a fearful dog is a reactive dog. So a fearful dog is a dog that's going to bite someone. So try to get rid of all your dog's fear, help build their confidence, not break it down. So I simply use a Fenrir slip lead. When you put a slip lead on, you want it like high behind the ears, high up. And you want it to be snug, so it's got this handy dandy thing to tighten it up. And I would just be like, Justice, heel. And I would just go about my business. I'd turn and literally just act like there's nothing going on. If he wasn't healing proper, I wasn't correcting him because I didn't want to scare him or scold him. I'd make myself some food, like I'm doing right now. And now Bruce wants to, show Bruce. Bruce is like, just wants to play. He wants to play all the time now. He wants all the attentions. Very simple, just keep, I did this multiple times. I think I probably did it. Did I do it every day? I think I probably did it every day. Because all of a sudden he wouldn't be scared, then he'd be scared again. That's the thing with these irrational fear stages. And because it was so irrational and I needed him to walk around, I had to force him walking around. And it's not like he was like claws out, no, I'm not gonna move. Because he trusts me, because we have that trust built up between us, he was like, okay, I'll follow my dad. But he was definitely like way behind me, not wanting to move too much. And by the end, he was running on the floor, coming up all wiggling and excited. So that's how I handled Justice's first and only fear stage so far. So I'm guessing there'll be another one coming down the road. All right, go play with Bruce. Before, Justice could get it easier because he wasn't as long, but now he's so long. All right, guys, peace.